Obviously, guys, we don't close every single person. The biggest two reasons people don't close is because of trust and or money, and then a one-legger. There's another decision maker who's not around or who killed our deal, right? So let's talk about what happens when you're in that situation with a one-legger and either you want to try to still close. Worst case scenario, you want to make sure before you set a follow-up with this person that they're a legitimate buyer, okay? There's nothing worse than salespeople filling up their calendars or their time with chasing people who are never actual real buyers. So if I'm sitting in a situation, I'm at the end of a consultation and I'm with a one-legger and they want to talk to their husband, they want to talk to the wife, I want to give them creative questions to figure out, is this a true buyer or not? Is this person worth being on my calendar or not? Having me chase them the next 2 to 3 days, whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna put them on the calendar until I know they're a legitimate buyer. And even before then, I'm gonna make another attempt to see if I can earn their business the same day. And I'm gonna say something along the lines of, if you had the solar system installed and we fast forward 12 months from now, what one or two things will be different for you guys? The reason that I'm gonna ask that question is because it forces the customer to experience mentally having the solar system and having everything that I just showed them on paper, having it already existing in their life. Best case scenarios, they go, well, I mean, nothing would really be different other than we've saved money on our power and we didn't have the $400 light bills that we had this summer. Instead, it looks like we would have what, the $215 instead of the $400. So, I mean, I guess we would be saving, 200 some odd bucks a month over 12 years. That's, $2,000 or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, that would be different. That's the answer we want. We want them to then go in their mind and process having solar and how much savings they would have. If they answer that question and you can watch their eyes as they try to visualize and go through that, calculate the savings, all that good stuff, perfect. Now you know that they understand what it's gonna be like and they've emotionally processed having a good experience with your product. Really great question. Other outcome you wanna look for, again, you wanna pay attention to how quickly they answer and then what they say. The worst case scenario in this question is they're like, well, I mean, I don't know. I can't really I don't know. I can't. If they can't answer that question and they don't have something neutral to positive to say, the value wasn't built. They're not a buyer. We didn't get the job done that day. No harm, no foul. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I wouldn't even suggest that staying in the pipeline. I would actually call that customer out. Hey, it sounds like now's not a good time. No harm, no foul. Usually when I present something this great in front of homeowners, because it doesn't work out this well, it actually only works out this great for 1 in every 4 homes. And you guys were that 1 in every 4. So it doesn't seem like this is a good fit. I don't want to chase you guys, but I will leave you my contact information. If anything ever changes in the future, I hope that you would think of Richard and Rivus for your solar or energy needs, okay? Then I'm moving on to the next. I don't want to chase that person, but really great question to really understand what the leg that you're sitting with is truly thinking or feeling. Another great question for that one-legger, okay? If partners, a domestic partnership of any kind, husband and wife, a lot of times we know our partners more than anyone else in the world. So why would I have to call my wife to see what she really thinks about this? We've already agreed that this is a problem that we both don't like in our lives. We've agreed the energy bills are too high, whatever the case may be. They're not totally oblivious to this problem, right? So let's clear that out of the way. That person already knows exactly what their partner is gonna say. Here's the next question that I want you guys to exercise with one-leggers, okay? If, I'm gonna give you guys all the time, okay? Now, let's assume hypothetically, you take this solar savings estimate, this proposal to your husband, and he says it's too expensive. What do you say? Let's pretend hypothetically you take this proposal to your wife and then she tells you it's too expensive. What do you say then, right? Again, how quickly do they answer? What are they saying? Best case scenario is they go, well, it's not too expensive. It's cheaper than what we're paying now. Didn't cost us anything out of pocket and it's adding equity into our home. Like I'd look at them like, what are you talking about, right? That's where we want them to be. Then we understand that this person is worth the follow-up because they already understand it. They already have the conviction. They're already on board and they're the ones for solar. A lot of times when you're sitting with the one leg, they don't want to do it because they feel it's too expensive and they're just going to use the other partner as a scapegoat because they don't know how to tell you no, right? So in this situation, if they don't give you that first answer, then they give you something along the lines of, I guess then we would have to think about it. Or I guess then we would, I don't know, we would probably just wouldn't do it. then understand, again, it's not the partner, it's them. This is what the person sitting right in front of you truly thinks and feel about your offer. They just don't want to say it out loud because there wasn't enough rapport in that relationship between you and them. It just simply isn't there yet. And that's okay. Nonetheless, I either want a yes to move forward today or move forward with an intention to follow up for a close within 48 hours, or I want to know. But I don't want to leave the house not knowing. We're not leaving that meeting without knowing if this person is going solar. We're either leaving with the yes or we're leaving with a follow-up for a specific date and time with the intentions of either saying yes or either saying no. And we know exactly what that follow-up looks like if it is yes, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to call you back tomorrow at 6. We're going to say yes or no. And if we're saying yes, we're going to go ahead and submit that application. If we're saying no, no harm, no foul, you guys can text me beforehand, whatever the case may be. If you're going to shop around, I would say at least give me the opportunity to match or beat whoever's proposal that you get, right? Okay, and that's just another great tip for those one-leggers. And then lastly, on the one-leggers, one more. If you and your partner were both in the room right now, do you think that you would unanimously agree that this was a better decision for your family? Right? Again, I'm looking for speed to answer more than anything else. That's going to show me where their personal belief in this offering is, which is arguably going to be the biggest thing. Because if we're going to leave the home and they're going to have to regurgitate this to their partner, and they're just like, yeah, I don't know, it's $38,000 and then the payment is here, so I don't know, it feels kind of, that's not going to get the job done. I need them to almost sound like me when they're pitching, right? So, and sometimes you get that. You'll get that customer that's just on fire and you can just shut up at the table because either the husband or wife are trying to break it down to the other partner who's at the table and they're like giving it to them. They're like, it's this much cheaper and it's going to do this and it's going to do that. And then we just kind of have to sit back. Best case scenario, right? So in this situation, again, it's if you and your spouse were in the room right now, do you believe that you would unanimously agree that this is a better financial decision for your family? If they don't quickly go, I mean, yeah, I think if we were both here, we would probably say yeah. If it's anything other than that, well, guess what? That person isn't sold. So if they're not sold, they're not going to transfer conviction to their partner. They're not going to transfer a yes to their partner. They're going to transfer doubts or a no. So before you set a follow-up with this one-legger, first of all, let's see if we can close them today. And if we can't, let's make sure that they are sold and they actually truly have that conviction to give to the other partner so that they can move forward without you being in the room so they can get that call back and say, hey, let's go ahead, email those docs again, all right?